I like that part there where it says, and no tears shall fall in the city bright and fair. I tell you, we've been to too many funerals lately. I know, or memorial services. I know somebody I talked to on Sabbath, I think, had went to two in one day. God sees their tears. He will wipe them all away in not too long. All right. Let's see. Yeah, you got one? Yeah, sure. How about oh, that's a nice one. Yeah. Aw.
487.
I come to the garden alone while the dew is still
on the roses, and a voice I hear calling on my ear, the Son of God discloses, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy that we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. And with him, to me is calling, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known.
We were talking about sheep in our women's support group a few minutes ago, and I am kind of in that frame of mind when it says he walks with me and he talks with me and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there none other has ever known. I can just picture the shepherd as he's walking with the sheep, and we are the sheep, and he tells me that I am his, and written on the palms of his hands. That's just beautiful mental picture.
Yes. All right, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our midweek prayer meeting. I like to think of it as a house of prayer experience. It's an acronym, spells HOPE, H-O-P-E, House of Prayer Experience. I borrowed that from Forest Lake Church. That's the I think the goal that they are striving for. That each prayer meeting, you come, and whatever burdens that you have, when you leave, your hope has been renewed. I had the privilege of attending a conference-sponsored event. It's called Oasis. It's for young people who do not attend Adventist school, high schools, or, academies or day schools. And one of the things that they focused on was mental health. And you don't see any way out. Your back is against the wall. And I suppose that maybe instead of looking in, and it's seeing in, and it's all about what's going on, the inner turmoil. And because maybe you can't solve it, you don't know anybody who could maybe solve it. And what doesn't help is if you don't have anyone that you know and trust that hey, I can tell them anything. And of course, human beings, but of course, God, will never repeat a secret, right? So it was very good to attend that event, and I did so with David. Saw one of our Pathfinders was there as well. But a very good weekend. The speaker was excellent in her ability to really try and captivate the attention of the young people.
I'm by no means an expert on suicide, but some of the things that we have learned is that oftentimes people will terminate their own life when they're rebounding, not so much at the lowest ebb. Sometimes at the lowest ebb, they don't have the strength, the will, the wherewithal to end their life, but when things are coming back is often when it will happen. And oftentimes we're bewildered to see people that we would think have everything. They have wealth and fame and so on, and they still end their life.
Yes.
And the bottom line is that whatever psychologists and psychiatrists and people, mental health professionals would say, it's over you and you listening to them, and you're not connected to God, and so then it becomes an easy thing to do.
Yes. No, that's an excellent point, JC. Beyond the psychosomatic issues that the individual may be facing, it is, I think, in terms of the higher view, it is a spiritual battle.
Thank you,
no
JC,
doubt about
for sharing that, because it didn't occur to me that they were too weak to even take their life, but when they're on their way up, oh my goodness, gets you coming and going.
Yeah.
Satan is, I know I had a second cousin. He was, I think, 26, and he had just mental struggles, bad, was a very good Christian. But
Come on in.
Satan would,
Water's warm.
Satan had him, because he felt like if he had an impure thought, that he was never going to make it to heaven. And he saw no way out, too. He was internally looking in, I guess, for that. And laid down a railroad track
Wow.
at 26 years old. He was in treatment, and the railroad track was behind the facility. But to me, that is so tragic when somebody is that hopeless. That just breaks my heart when there's hope out there. They just haven't heard it yet.
Well, one of the things that I think that particularly those of mature age, you will appreciate, is it is really quite predictable where I think particularly the youngest generations, the struggles that they have, particularly with mental health, because of the unmooring from objective truth. And the moment you unmoor from objective truth, that there's nothing like gravity to hold you down, then all bets are off, because you have nothing to really hold on to, right? Because everything is tentative. Like, okay, I'm over here, but the ground beneath my feet is moving, because, hey, who am I today? Who am I tomorrow, right? If it's not who God says you are, then you begin to see how tenuous, an existence. And one of the things that we really hit on is just how critical identity is. And certainly not just for young people, but for
Is that for most of us, we have a will to live, a desire to live.
Yes.
If we really, truly bought into
Yes.
what's the point in continuing your life? You just here for a few seconds in the scope of billions of years, and you're gone, and that's the end of it. What's the point, But God put something in us to
Yes.
make